Alright, well here is that saucer that I threw, and I'm just going to trim it quickly because it's here. We'll do this kind of fast because I know that you all know how to trim basic things, but it never hurts to get a refresher. I'm going to make sure you center it. So I felt the bottom to know where my thicknesses of clay were, to see how much I could take away. I'm centering it with the pin tool, seeing what part's closest to me, and then pushing it away from me. And now I'm going to wad it down carefully so I'm not deforming the piece. These are wads that I used previously. You can reuse wads as long as they're not too dry. Okay, and I'm gonna, this is very uneven at the top, so I'm going to take my pin tool and cut away some of that extra. I know I've got a lot of clay there, so I can cut into it. My hands are a unit. That thing is very supported. I'm making contact at the top even though it's bumpy. I'm holding my pin tool flat and steady, so I know I'm cutting a consistent surface rather than the bumpy surface that is on top of this. And we'll pull that off, and I've taken away this disc of clay that's really inconsistent, and I'm left with an area of clay that's pretty flat. And I can start trimming this thing now. Trim out the side. There we go. This middle section isn't flat, but that doesn't bother me too much because that's not where my foot ring's going to be. I'm going to draw my foot ring on with my pin tool. So I know where to stop. When doing plates and little saucers, it's always important to remember where you put that ridge on the inside of the plate, where your lip meets the bottom, because oftentimes there's kind of a sharp angle there. And say if your foot ring, where it comes in, is right at the same place where your lip comes in, you could end up trimming through your plate or your saucer very easily. And we'll talk more about that when I trim the big plate that I threw. But that's just something you really need to keep in mind, because many a plate has been trimmed through because of that connection point. So try to be very mindful of that when you're trimming. Some people love trimming. Some people hate trimming. I love trimming. I think trimming is super relaxing. You could just take a lump of clay and trim all day. In the Eastern style of production, pottery studios, it's the trimmers that are considered the highly skilled laborers, highly skilled workers. The people who throw are considered less skilled than the people who trim, because the people who trim are the ones that reveal the shape, the true shape of the form, whereas the throwers are just doing sort of the rough form. So trimming is considered an important skill. Again, always remember, make sure whatever your foot ring is going to be, it's smoothed out so it doesn't scratch anyone's table. And we're going to go back and recompress anything that we've trimmed with our rib. Watch out for your lugs or for your wads of clay. They might get in the way if you're doing something really small. So just keep a handle on that. And there you go. The saucer is trimmed. On to other things.